That was wonderful. Okay, Joseph.
Okay, thank you, Marie Louise. They say that music is the language of angels because you all have the ability to transcend what words can do. And it doesn't matter what language someone may be limited to, there's something about music that stirs the emotions, those eternal spirits within us that can conjure the best or the worst in us. And I kind of like how last week went, where I just made something up live, just hoping that I could do what I do as a poet, like you do with your guitar, and somehow compensate by not having an instrument with the melody in my voice. But I just want to say how much I appreciate each of you, enjoy you, and thank you for speaking the language of angels. So if I could sing a song to thank you, that's what I'd like to do. 'Cause it's always been good music that pulls a person through. When times might seem down and things are wearing us thin, we turn on our favorite song, and that's when our healing begins. So thanks to each of you who takes the time to play your soul, to put those things we need to hear into words that musically roll. So I only want to thank you, and I'm proud to be a friend, and I hope that all your talent never finds its wanting end, and that you keep on giving all of us the music that makes life sweet, as we're sitting in a barbecue or we're rolling down the street, as we're looking at horizons, or when we're hanging with our friends. It's always by your guitar that the good times never end. So thank you to my musician friends. I want to say how much I love hearing you always play and doing what angels do of, to take us to those places that transcend all time and place. You have the ability to put that smile on our face. So I'll just make this short, and I'll just make this sweet. Thanks for making life so fine when we're rolling down the street. I can hear you in my head when there's nothing else around. I'm the kind of guy who's dancing when there's no reason to see you around. 'Cause I always have you part of me. You're in me all the time. If it wasn't for your music, there'd be no magic to my rhyme. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that beautiful recognition of music.
You're welcome. And I'm just gonna do that one piece tonight. That's all. That's all. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Wow.
I love that.
And yeah, I just made all that up. You know, I was a little apprehensive and nervous beforehand because I hadn't thought of a single thing. I really wanted to be emotionally inspired. And sure enough, Steve pulled through and got me somewhere where I could pull it off. So thank you.
Wow, that was great.
Thank you, Joseph.
So is that the tradition of Jack Kerouac? First thought, best thought?
You know, I don't know. I'm not well read. In fact, I almost said in the beginning of this that when I was working for Bay Area Rapid Transit as a cash handler, I had left one day to go write a poem. I told everybody that I was sick if I didn't go write a poem, because the radio kept saying that more and more kids are bringing guns to school. And every commercial break, as we're bundling cash that they brought from the whole system, I kept hearing that. And having left the ambulance to prevent violence, I couldn't handle it. So I told my coworkers I had to go home and write a poem. And he said, well, are you sick? I said, well, I will be if I can't go home and write about this. And so they let me go. And the next day I wasn't finished. So I had to call off sick the next day. And mind you, I'm just a temp. But I'd been there 9 months already, or 8 months by that time. And so when I came back, I was called into the office and said, they really appreciate my work, my attitude, and my poetry, because I've shared it prolifically. but I can't do that again. But he came to me about a month later after I had, given him some poetry, and he said a teacher was over his house and reading through my poetry and wanted to know what his inspirations were. And I said, I'm not really well read. So even Jack Kerouac, I don't really know much of what he wrote. It's musicians, it's the Eagles, it's Ray Charles, it's Dolly Parton, it's all the storytellers that I listened to on the 8 tracks growing up with. So again, you're all my inspiration. So thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph.
Wonderful.